Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and grab your coffee. Welcome to another fine episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. It is Monday, September 26th. And how you doing? Several things going on. First of all, besides the Yankees, the Knicks start training camp today. So I'm super excited for the Knicks, right? Super excited. Secondly, the New York Giants, they play later on tonight, trying to go from 2-0 to 3-0 to start the season. And third of all, I just won me a fantasy game in my fantasy league. So I am 2-1. Jay Boogie, I know you out there, and I'm sorry that my team had to do you like that, but play is all a part of the game. And my guys in the chat, what it do? Eric Wallace, good morning, sir. Mikey Miles in the 4 Train Express, what it do? Salute. And like always, guys, if you haven't hit that like button yet, hit that like button, right? Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed yet. And as well, join the conversation because I have my man Nathan Ramachandra in the building. What it do, Nathan? Good morning, sir. Hope all is well. The Yankees on a 7-game winning streak. So, I'm feeling type good. I'm feeling really good. Got my coffee. Hope everybody's sipping on that coffee, whether it's a decaffeinated coffee or a regular coffee, just as long as you're getting your brewing in the morning. At the beginning of the season, right, when the show first started, I had something going on, something I will always bring up, just to have it playing on the side while we talk about the game. Had some technical difficulties. I couldn't bring it back. But guess what? Your man figured it out and helped me in announcing the return of the Brew Tube. That's right. We got the Brew Tube back. If you guys remember what the Brew Tube was, here it is, baby. Now, as we talk about this game, we're going to have the Yankee highlights going right next to us. But Nestor Cortez, 6 innings. He only gave up 1 hit, had a complete game because the game was called. It was raining something filthy last night, but it shut down the Yankee game. Shout out to also my man BX Bomber, who was in the building at Yankee Stadium. If you guys haven't seen BX Bomber, please go support my guy BX Bomber. Look his channel up on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But as well, have you guys seen the catch-up guy from Yankee Stadium last night? Please let me know. Please let me know in the chat if you guys heard of the catch-up man that was at Yankee Stadium last night. Nathan feeling better from COVID, but still recovering. Nathan, hopefully you feel better, my guy. Hopefully you feel better. We need you out there, bro. We need you out there. Feel better and recover as fast as you can. Shout out to my guy Julian Blum in the building. Julian, the Knicks start they start training camp today, baby. How you feeling? Let me get a thumbs up in the chat, Julian, if you're happy that the Knicks start training camp today, because I know I am. Finally all this Donovan Mitchell stuff is situated. I don't care. I'm just happy Knicks baseball is back. The Yankees may be winning. Yankees may have won 7 games in a row. I think it's 3 series in a row as well. We play a game today against the Toronto Blue Jays, trying to lock up the division. Aaron Judge is still on the chase for 61 home runs. And my man John, still Knick fans, is in the building. Top of the morning, HQ. What's good, Yanks? Loading up for their playoff run and on to another championship. Both the Mets and the Yankees are loading up for a playoff run. I don't care what anybody says. If you got DeGrom and if you got Scherzer healthy, 1-2, watch out. The Mets are gonna be a big time problem in the postseason. And John, I know Jacob DeGrom had a bad start his last outing out of it, but let's throw that one out the window. Why? Because Angel Hernandez was behind the plate, right? Angel Hernandez, who's probably the worst umpire in all of Major League Baseball. So we can't hold it against Jacob DeGrom if he struggles a little bit with Angel Hernandez back there. But yeah, if you guys haven't followed Still Knick fans, my man Ron and John are amazing. John, I've been to Yankee Stadium with twice already. We went once for the Derek Jeter documentary, and as well, we went to go see the Subway Series, the Mets game. Phenomenal. Him, his kid, his homies from the softball team. But Hopefully we get some postseason tickets, John. Listen, I don't mind doing the standing seat, brother. I don't mind standing at Yankee Stadium. And my man Carlos, what is good? Calito, dígame, mi hermano de la isla. Hope all is well, Carlos. Hope all is well. And as well, Carlos, put the link to your channel down in the comment section so people can find you as well. Eric Wallace, the Mariners game yesterday. Bleh. Listen, the Mariners is good, bro. You guys are gonna make it via the wild card. You just locked up, Castillo for the next 5 seasons. So yeah, you guys is good. I'm looking forward to seeing the Seattle Mariners over the next few years. You know how competitive they can be over the next few years. My man John said, if you can find them, let me know. I'm down. Bet I'm getting on that Game Time app later on. It's funny too. Right before the show started, right? I love to listen to Tiki and Tierney in the morning. Shout out my guy Tiki, who's one of the owners of the Nights of DJ. But I love listening to Tiki and Tierney in the morning, and you know how they give Yankee tickets away. So I call in. I heard the number. Boom, cool, copy. I already have the number saved in my phone. I heard the music while I was listening to it. Cool, copy. Picked up my phone, hit that button to call the station for the tickets. It rang twice. Busy, biggie. That third time I called, I finally got through. So they picked up the phone. Person picked up the phone. It's like, hey, WFAN, Yankee, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm trying to get them Yankee tickets. It was like, what's the turning point of the game that we announced? I was like, oh, I wasn't listening earlier in the show. I just called right now. And the guy was like, can't help you out. But hopefully in the future, WFAN, if you're listening, let me get some free Yankee tickets for me and my guy, John. But guys, it was an awesome game. Awesome series. I know the pressure. I'm not saying the pressure is starting to get to Judge as he comes up, in this at bat right now. But a lot of Yankee fans, I think the pressure is getting to Yankee fans. I think the pressure is getting to people who are following what's going on, right? Judge has gone through stretches, 4 games, 5 games without hitting a home run. I think he's going to hit it tonight in Toronto. Toronto, they're behind us by 8.5 games. We got a 10.5 lead on Tampa. The division is basically wrapped up. We just got to win the next 2 games in Toronto, celebrate the division. So all you Yankee fans out there, all you ill-fated Yankee fans that had little to no faith, as my man Kev from BX Sports Bomber would say, Yankee fans of no faith, of little to no faith. Where you at right now? I know Michael Caputo jumped into the chat a week or so ago when Simonetti, Petey was on the channel, but I haven't seen Michael Caputo since then. I think a lot of Yankee fans who was wishing for this team to lose the division and not make the playoffs, I think they're hiding right now, right? Ooh, my man Frankie Rivera. Hey, yo, Frankie. Frankie Rivera's in the building. He said, good morning, Hector. Do you see Oswaldo Cabrera as a starter next year like him? Also, you think any chance of Madeline comes back to the Yankees? Frankie, let's talk about both those points. First point, when you talk about Cabrera, I've said this multiple times. Oswaldo Cabrera, however you want to put it, he could be our version of Ben Zobrist. Guys, remember Ben Zobrist with the Tampa Bay Rays, the Royals, the Chicago Cubs as well. Ben Zobrist was able to play any position on the field besides catching and first base, just like Cabrera. Ben Zobrist as well played that above average defense in every position he was at. Just like Cabrera has shown us this year, he could play above average defense in the outfield and the infield. We've seen him at first base. He hasn't missed a step at first base. So I think Cabrera could be a real important key for this team going forward. The bat is still trying to find his way. He's come up with some big hits, some clutch hits, grand slams, stuff like that. It's been real good what we've seen out of him. Let's see if he gets it more consistent next year. But Peraza, the other Oswald, the other Ozzy, Peraza last night, 2 for 3. 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Solid defense as well. Yesterday they went with a lineup that had Marwin at third base, Peraza at shortstop. I want to see that going forward. Judge was the DH. Harrison Bader's speed has played tremendously ever since coming over to the Yankees. Ever since he's been healthy and been in this lineup, he's been awesome. We seen the defense the other night as he, tracked down a ball in center field that 9 times out of 10 this year would have been a single. Probably would have got past the center fielder Hicks if he would have dove for it. But Harrison Bader he's showing that his glove sticks. Since Harrison Bader has been in this Yankee lineup, the Yankees are undefeated. We haven't lost a game since Harrison Bader has been in the starting lineup. I know that's being a bit too much, but hey, I'll take it. Since Harrison Bader has been in this Yankee lineup, we are undefeated. We are 7-0. 7-0 with Harrison Bader in the lineup. So I'll take it for now. Yes, it's a small sample size. Yes, I'm being a little bit too much and being a little bit too much dramatic by bringing that up that we're undefeated. But hey, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. Let me know in the chat, how do you guys feel after this weekend? What's your thought? When do you guys think Judge is going to hit number 61? You think it's going to be tonight? Think it's going to be tomorrow? You guys think that the Yankees are going to clinch tonight and tomorrow in Toronto? Let me know. And if the Yankees clinch, right? We're at 94 wins. If the Yankees clinch the division, do we start sitting players and resting players? I would say, yeah. I would say if the Yankees clinch the division within these next couple of days, I want to see Peraza in the lineup more often. I definitely want to see Peraza in the lineup more often. And as well, news that dropped yesterday, if you guys didn't hear, but the Yankees DFA Chapman. Aroldis Chapman's time in the Bronx is over. Bye-bye, Chappie. I didn't think the Yankees were going to pull the trigger on Chapman just because the Yankees have always tried to be fiscally responsible, not wanting to pay somebody if they're not going to be on the team performing. They just don't want to give up the money, especially in recent history. But for the Yankees to DFA Aroldis Chapman goes to show you that, you know what? Anybody could be DFA'd. Anybody. So let's see what happens over the next week or so, because I think we got about 8 games left. Let me just double check to see how many games we have left of the season. Bear with me a segundo. So the Yankees, they got a game in Toronto today. Like I said, they start a 3-game series in Toronto. Then they come back to the stadium to face the Baltimore Orioles for how many games? For 3 games. And then they finish the season 4 games in Texas. So that's 10 games left. 3 against Toronto, 3 against Baltimore, and 4 against Texas. So the Yankees have 10 games left in the season. 10 games left in the season. I definitely believe that Judge is going to hit that home run before the season's over. But let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see the youngins in the lineup more often? My man John said he's going to hit 61 against Toronto and surpass 61 against the Orioles at home, 62 against the Orioles, 61, against the Orioles at home and televised on Yes Network. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, this debacle, right, over the past week, I wasn't able to touch on it, when it was happening last week, because I wanted to see how it was going to play out. But this debacle of Apple TV, Fox, not having Michael Kay calling the home run ball. Listen, MLB has to get their stuff together next year. Listen, I enjoy, Apple TV. The camera quality is amazing with Apple TV. It's basically look like 8D. The players they're so crisp, but you cannot limit the Yankee team to its fan base, right? And what I mean by that is there's a old generation that is not going to figure out how to operate Apple TV, right? There's a whole generation, there's a whole group of Yankee fans, I should say, that they don't have the means to buy an Apple product. Not every smart TV supports Apple TV. So myself, I have an LG TV in my room right now. in my living room, I have a Sony TV, right? But there's people that have like Everson's TVs, right? There's people that have third market brand televisions that do not support Apple TV. Major League Baseball and the Yankees cannot allow another season to go by next year, and this be the problem. You're losing your fans. When the Yankees played on Friday on UPN 9, if you guys remember UPN 9 or Pix 11, that was awesome. You know, it was easy to find them. Now you got to Google stuff, right? You got to where they're going to play at. Like me, I have Apple TV and I have Amazon Prime, right? They show the game on Apple TV, but it's on Amazon Prime as well. I can't watch it on Amazon Prime. I have to watch it on Apple TV. With all these subscription services, I'm already paying $9.99 a month for Apple TV, right? $14.99 for Amazon Prime because I don't want commercials when I'm watching things, right? Because that's just me. That's how my ADHD works. $12 for Netflix. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's basic like cable. It's my streaming services is like 60, $80 a month with what I'm watching. Major League Baseball has to figure it out next year, right? You just have to. And on top of it, right, if you don't have a regular radio, you cannot listen to the radio broadcasts of the Yankee game, right? Thankfully, I have the Odyssey app, and I pay for my Odyssey app so I can listen to the Yankee games, so I can listen to John Sterling, right? But there's not a lot of people who can navigate that technology. I know for a fact that my mother can't navigate that technology, but I don't have to worry about that because she's a Met fan, so she's not going to worry about having to watch the Yankees on Apple TV. She's a Met fan, and on top of it, the Mets, their games are on Hulu. The Yankee games, yes, games aren't on Hulu. The Mets games is on Hulu. SNY, every game is on Hulu. You are handcuffing your fans. And it's easy. Oh, just, go out there and buy the Roku thing. Not every Roku stick supports it. I mean, not every TV supports the Roku stick. Not every smart TV out there has the programming to support a Roku stick. So please stop making it hard for your fans that can't even afford to go to Yankee Stadium. Me and John, we're talking about doing standing tickets because you're easily going to spend $150 at a Yankee game, even if you're sitting all the way in section 420. If you're sitting all the way up there, easily you're spending $120, $150 at Yankee Stadium. Because if you think about it, transportation is to the stadium where, depending on where you at, I live in Dykeman, right? It's going to take me about like an hour on public transportation to make it to Yankee Stadium. So if I take an Uber, when I first go to Yankee Stadium, the Uber's $16. Awesome. When I get out of Yankee Stadium, because of the surcharge, because it's Yankee Stadium and it's a Yankee game, that $16 Uber turns into $40 for me to get home. Then when you go inside the stadium, chicken nuggies, chicken tendies is $20. A soda is $8. A water is $7. A beer is $12. So you're easily going to spend $150. You're already making it hard for the average New Yorker to take their 2 kids or 3 kids and their wife out to Yankee Stadium. If you're somebody who's a construction worker and you trying to take your family to Yankee Stadium, you're easily going to spend $500. Easily. He said, "You're on fire today, Hector." It's the coffee. It's the coffee. Honestly, it's the coffee. I used extra strength Bustelo this morning. But yes, especially in the playoffs. And I was a kid that I grew up. I didn't come from a family that had the means to spend money on certain things like going to Yankee Stadium, right? Or spending things on jerseys. Like this Aaron Judge jersey that I brought it for me this year. This was the first time in my life that I ever brought an official Yankees jersey. I'm 33 years old, right? This is the first time in my life I was able to afford an official Yankee jersey from a Yankee store. Growing up, I was easily getting the fake ones all the time, always rocking a fake Yankee jersey. But at 33 years old, I was able to finally have the means to spend for an official Yankees jersey. And it's hard from some families that's out there, right? My man Frankie said, not only that, many of us old farts can't even. Frankie, you're not old, bro. I've said this several times. You're not old. You're just well seasoned. You're like a beni 2 days before they put it in the oven for Thanksgiving. He said, not only that many of us old farts can't afford all these different subscription services, but MLB uses the excuse that they're doing it for young fans. That's a lie. We know it's about money. Bingo. You hit it right on the head, Frankie. I'm put that up right there. I'm gonna just leave that for a second. Bingo. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Why do you think they want these? Why do you think they want these games to be sped up? Right? Because people who buy ads and ads packages, commercials during the show, they don't want to have to wait 3 hours for that commercial to run. So if they could compact it to 2.5 hours or 2 hours, they could charge more for the commercials, right? And the network is happy because they have another thing to play right after the Yankees are done to add more commercials to. So it's all about money at the end of the day. However MLB tries to spin it, however, it's all about money at the end of the day. But let's jump into these stats from last night, right? Because I could go on a whole soapbox rant, but we don't. This is not a TED Talk. This is Yankees Morning Brew. See right now. So over to the Red Sox, right? It was a 6th inning game. It got called after the 6th inning, but Kike Hernandez, the center fielder, he let it off. He was 0 for 3. Tommy Pham, the left fielder, was 1 for 2. Don't know why they have it 0 for 2. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, was 0 for 2. JD Martinez, the DH, was 0 for 2. Rob Refsnyder. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tommy Pham was over. Rob Refsnyder got the only hit against Nestor Cortez. Former Yankee, the right fielder, was 1 for 2. Casas, the first baseman, was 0 for 2. Dahlback, the third baseman, Bobby Dahlback, the third baseman, was 0 for 2. Chang at second base was 0 for 2. And Wong, the catcher, was 0 for 2. Like I said, Rob Refsnyder, the former Yankee in right field, the only hit on the night for the Red Sox, and he had the only error in right field right before the game was called, before they put it on pause. But yeah, it was brutal seeing it last night. Like, it was literally raining cats and dogs last night in Yankee Stadium. My man John says, Frankie, hit him with the knockout punch about the almighty dollar. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why if the Yankees do not sign Aaron Judge this offseason, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. The Yankees are easily on point, and on the course to make over 600 mil at the stadium this year. When it comes to ticket sales, jersey sales, merchandise and stuff, easily on that point, on that path. They need to sign Judge. And I think it's going to take 350 mil over 8 years. We're going to have so many videos to talk about that, but 350 mil over 8 years, 40 mil per year, that's what's going to take to sign Judge. I think that's where you start the conversation. Point blank, period. They have no choice. Hand over that black. Absolutely. Hand over that blank check. And as well, if you guys saw yesterday, it broke. Don Mattingly, he told the Marlins that regardless of what my contract extension is, regardless of how many years, this is the last year that I'm managing the Marlins. He came out there and said that. So let all the speculation start. Let all the rumors start. It started a month ago when Derek Jeter was at the Yankee game. Well, three weeks ago. So when Derek Jeter was at the Yankee game, right? And Derek Jeter got on the mic and he said, listen, don't boo. Don't boo. You're not going to want to boo. Trust me. And every Yankee fan read that the same way I read that. Hopefully, from his mouth to God's ears, Derek Jeter will be the president of the Yankees next year, taking Brian Cashman's job. Brian Cashman's going to retire. The first move that Derek Jeter does is announce Don Mattingly as the manager of the Yankees. And then the second move he does, announce the contract extension of Aaron Judge and name Aaron Judge the captain of this team. The captain of this team. Captain. Something is cooking with Derek and Mattingly. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And this was horrible, man. Miguel Andujar. Listen, hopefully Miguel Andujar can find himself a team where he could revive his major league career, because I still have faith in Miguel Andujar's bat. If you give Miguel Andujar regular playing time, Let him know that, listen, this is your spot. You don't got to worry about nothing else. Let's see what he could does. I can easily see Miguel Andujar going to Cincinnati in the offseason. I could easily see it to Seattle Mariners as well, because the Mariners need offense, right? The Angels, because the Angels need whatever they can get, right? They need to get whatever they can get over there. But hopefully, like I said, he was acquired by the Pirates. Oh, I didn't even see that. I was looking for it. Thank you, Frankie boy. So yeah, and Duhar was acquired by the Pirates. Let's see what he could do for the rest of this season. I know there's only 10 games left, but hopefully the Pirates, they extend them for next year. And let's see if Miguel Andujar can revitalize his career. It's a win-win situation, I feel, for the Pirates. Let me see. Let me go right here. He bet on himself. Yep. Will beat the Yankees home run record and win the Triple Crown. That right there, it's more impressive to me than 60 home runs. The Triple Crown, right? And he wins the Triple Crown. He'll be the first Triple Crown winner with 60 home runs. But the Triple Crown, to me, John, when we was at the stadium last, we weren't even talking about the Triple Crown. Not at all. We weren't even talking about the Triple Crown. That's how good Aaron Judge has been. He's going to fall into the conversation of Triple Crown. My man Mikey Mazza said, I believe that Don Mattingly will get picked up. Hopefully. Will Yankee system? No. Florial is still going to be in the Yankee system. Florial, and that's another player that I think the Yankees need to figure out what they're going to do this offseason with, Florial. I know the last Friday, Keith was on. I don't think Keith's a big fan of Florial, which, if you see his stats at the major league level, I understand. The Yankees are a win now organization. They don't have time to let Estevan Florial figure it out at the major league level. They need to get production right now. My man Austin Cruz is in the building. If I think that's who it is, that's my man. That's little BX Sports Jedi right there. Austin, salute. All is well. Listen, Austin, we got to get you on a panel with the MMA guys that we have here on the channel. If you aren't familiar with it, please go through the channel. Nights of Degen. There is a fight night group. I really want to get you and Chef Dan on a panel with them so you guys could talk about the MMA and the UFC fights in the future, Austin. So if you're interested in that, bro, just let me know in the comment section down. And as well, please follow the BX Sports Jedi Network. Austin and his pops, Big Kev. They do amazing things, especially Chef Dan covering the Mets and Knicks as well. They do amazing things on that channel. Let's see. Big facts. Aaron checked all the boxes, left nothing for the Yankees front office to hang over his head when he sits in the room with Cashman. Listen, like I was saying earlier, hopefully he's sitting in the room with Jeter and not Cashman. We know Cashman is going to try to lowball Aaron Judge. I don't know why. I think ego has a lot to do with it. It's the same way you guys see the documentary with Michael Jordan. It's the same way how that GM decided that, or he thought that his ego was bigger than the team, right? He wanted to be credited at the end of the day with putting together that championship team instead of acknowledging, oh my God, these are Hall of Fame players. Let's ride with them until the wheels come off, right? I think that's the type of mindset Brian Cashman has, especially when he's been burnt by recent big deals. When you look at the Jacoby Ellsbury contract, he was burnt on that, right? He didn't get proper return on the investment when it comes to the Yankees, right? Masahiro Tanaka, he was awesome with us. Yankee fans loved him. I know I did, but deep down, I know the Yankees feel they didn't get quite a return for the investment they put into Masahiro Tanaka because he was injured a lot of the times, right? I don't think the Yankees want to fall down that route. Now we got Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole, he's been struggling, especially his last start. I think he has a 6.61 ERA in his past 4 starts, giving up 2 home runs each start. That's not going to be good. He has one more start before the playoffs come around, so he could tune it up right before the playoffs start. But Garrett Cole has to get back on track. When you look back in the past, I'm going to do when the season is over, I'm going to do deep dive in videos so we can look at the contracts that, Brian Cashman gave over the years that didn't pan out, that didn't work out, the trades that he made that didn't work out, so we could compare and contrast the good moves and the bad moves and see how much is from either or, either good or bad. Boom, 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 boom. Said Florio could be used as a trade piece. I know Florio has a talent, but I don't want his talent to be wasted. Yeah, he needs to be traded to someplace else where he could flourish. He's 24, 23, turning 24. He'll be 25 next year. It's time to move on from Florio. I know he was the number one prospect in our system for a couple of seasons. Or 1 year, he was the number one prospect. In a couple of seasons, he was the number third prospect. But it's time to move on from Florio. He's if the Yankees aren't going to give him the same opportunity that Tyler Wade got and other players got, it's time to move on from Florio. But let's look at the Yankee stats from last night, right? Boom, 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 boom. When you look at the Yankees had Aaron Judge leading it off. As the DH, he was 1 for 2. Anthony Rizzo, El Calzone at first base was 0 for 3. Gleyber Torres, the second baseman, was 0 for 2. Ozzie Cabrera, the right fielder, was 1 for 3. Harrison Bader in center field was 1 for 3. Aaron Hicks in left field was 0 for 3. Jose Trevino, our amigo, the catcher, was 1 for 3. Marwin Gonzalez was 0 for 3. And Oswald Peraza, the young rookie shortstop, was 2 for 3 at the dish. Nestor Cortez pitched 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. This is the first time since Nestor Cortez came off of the IL that he's pitched more than 5 innings. Past 3 starts he's been here. He's been back. The Yankees have limited to 5 innings. With the season coming to a close, get that little six inning out the way so you can be stressed out for the postseason run to come. And in the postseason, I feel very confident with Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, and then we got to flip a coin whether it's going to be Luis Severino or Jameson Taillon. Yankee fans, let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? If you were lining up the Yankees starting rotation for a postseason series, whether it's the ALDS or the ALCS, I don't care. What rotation are you going with? Obviously, you're going with Garrett Cole, number 1, Nestor Cortez, number 2, but I want to know who's going to be the number 3 starter. Are you guys inclined to let Jameson Taillon be the number 3 starter? Are you guys leaning towards Luis Severino to be the number 3 starters? Let me know down below. Put it in the chat. If you're watching this on a playback as well, put it in the chat after the video is up on YouTube. Let us know. Because if it's up to me, it's going to be Luis Severino. Ideally, it would be Severino. A Game 4 starter would be Jameson Taillon. I'm having Domingo Germán come out the bullpen. Clark Smith come out the bullpen. Like I talked about last week, I'm not even sure if I want Frankie Montas in the rotation. It's coming off the IL. I understand that. But is it enough time for him to ramp back up before the postseason? He's only going to have 1 start. I think he comes off the IL within the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days. He's going to have 1 start before the postseason. So 1 start and then the postseason, you're going to trust him? I'm not too sure. I am honestly not too sure if I'm going to be able to trust Frankie Montas. You know, I just can't. He's not healthy. His pitching, he's known in his career. He was known in his career to be good when it comes to controlling the strike zone, inside or outside, right? I understand when I was having that conversation with Keith, we talked about maybe a 5th game, maybe if it was a series against Tampa, maybe. Only have to win 1 game in Toronto to seal the division, not 2. I said either 1 or 2. 1 or 2. So either they win a game or lose it. Like, so I'm just saying 2 games just to be sure. But yeah, only have 1 game to win in Toronto before we seal the division. So are we celebrated tonight with a division title and an Aaron Judge home run? What's it going to be? Steve, if you're ever free to jump on the panel, Steve, let me know. I'll put the link in the chat, and you're more than welcome to jump on the panel. Appreciate you and all your insights you've done these past few times you've been joining the chat. But if it's up to me, I'm lining up the rotation. Like I said, Garrett Cole, number 1, Nestor Cortez, number 2, and um and either Luis Severino or Jameson Taillon, either or. Yeah, that's what I said too. Yeah, public school education is the best. It helps you out with math. Oh, okay, Mazza. But Mazza, you got to be in a space that you're able to talk. I don't want to be in a lot of walking around, and it just takes away from the quality of your video at the end. So I'll put the link out there, Mazza. If you want to jump in, jump in. But like I said, if you could be someplace where it's not a lot of noise in the background, it's not a lot of movement, because it takes away from the quality of the stream. There's the link right there. And Steve, if you want to jump on the panel, you're more than welcome to as well. I always tell people, it's always good to hear from other Yankee fans. Always good to hear from other people's perspectives. So, Steve, more than welcome to jump on the panel, brother. Mikey Mazza already knows the rules. Everybody just got to be respectful to everybody. Let people finish their point as they get it across. But yeah, if you want to jump on the panel, you're more than welcome to. And as was shown right now, you got Spike Lee over there. Spike Lee is a jinx. I'm gonna say that right now. Spike Lee, stop going to Yankee games. Spike Lee, stop going to Knicks games. I'm tired of seeing Spike Lee. I'm definitely tired of seeing Spike Lee. I love you, baby. You from Brooklyn, but I'm tired of seeing Spike Lee. Let me see my man Mikey Mazza. Mikey Mazza's in the building. What it do, baby?
What it do, Hector? What it do? What is up, all you Knights of Degen
That's what's
universe? How's it going?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Just enjoying the fact that the Yankees they turned it around.
Yeah.
A month or so ago, we had Yankee fans like Michael Caputo and others that saying that the Yankees were going to drop the division and not make it. But we here now. We good.
Yep.
We got one more game to win against Toronto before we can lock up the division. So, like you said, hopefully we get to see a home run from Judge tonight and a division win to lock it up
Yep.
when it comes to the title, when it comes to the division title. What's your thoughts on tonight's game in Toronto?
So I
Before
think
before
tonight
I'm sorry, Mazza, before we talk about tonight's game, let me get your thoughts on the weekend.
I was very happy with the sweep
Mm-hmm.
because we threw Boston around like a rag doll, which was always fun to watch, as you know. And as Yankee fans, we love that because that just rubs it in their face that we're better, and we've always been better, and we're always going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like the fact that the hitting came up big. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a prime example of that. Anthony Rizzo, when he hit that go ahead home run on Saturday, or I
Yep.
think it was Friday or Saturday,
It was Friday, I
that
think.
that showed the Red Sox and baseball that we are here to stay. And the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we have been in first for the entire season, not many teams can say, but the Yankees can't say that. And that proves that we were no joke this year, and like everyone thought we were going to be. And that really showed something. That showed something about this team's character and their fight, and I really appreciated that and really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. Hold on, wait. 1 second. Yeah, and hold on. My man Eric says, sadly, Hector was on the phone, so when the playoffs start, I can't do the stream yard, but I'll still be here. Listen, Eric, we gotta figure this out, brother. We gotta figure whether I gotta send you one of my old iPads. However, we gotta figure this out, Eric, because I need you on the panel for one of these playoff games. Whether it's to talk Yankees, whether it's to talk the Mariners, whatever it is, Eric, you need to get on the panel, brother. If you gotta steal your little nephew's iPad that he got from school so he could do remote learning, go steal your nephew's iPad so he no more remote learning. Go ahead. But over the weekend, yeah, the offense coming up, Judge, they're not really pitching around him, but he's still getting doubles, he's still getting on base, he's still getting those hits.
Yep.
I think his batting average is now 314 still, or 315. I'm
Something
not
like
too
that.
sure. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah. Last night it was 314. He got a hit, so it's probably 315 at the moment. But yeah, what's your thoughts though? You think Judge who do you think is feeling the pressure more? Do you think it's Judge feeling the pressure, or do you think it's us Yankee fans that are feeling the pressure more? Who do you think is feeling the pressure more when it comes to this 60th first home run?
I'm gonna say it's Judge just because it's his numbers, it's
Mm-hmm.
his stats, and he's the one on the field making millions of dollars. We're not. We're just at home fans yelling, "Get a home run every time up!" We're the
Mm-hmm.
ones not actually playing. He's the one having to deal with,
Yeah.
95-mile-an-hour fastball. So I think it's him who's feeling that pressure more than us.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. And yeah, Steve, it's not official that the Yankees have DFA Chapman. A lot of the reports is that he will be DFA within the next couple of weeks. I mean, next couple of days. So let's see how that turns out. Yesterday, all the blue check marks, they announced it last night. So normally when the blue check marks announce stuff, I tend to go off of that. But yeah, it hasn't been officially announced by the team. So let's see what happens over the next couple of days. But Mikey Mazza, what's your thoughts on the possibility of the Yankees DFA and Chapman? I know these got like 10 games left for the season. They won't be on the line for the majority of his contract because of insurance and injuries. What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on it?
I mean, I think it's a smart move, but I think the smarter move would be to DFA Aaron uninterested lazy boy Hicks, because he looks so like not with it. He looks like he doesn't care. He don't want to be there. I mean, after that catch he made, great. He made a catch, but if you saw the way he flipped the ball, like he didn't want to throw it in, like that's the Yankees are always known for their hustle and their style of play. And when
Mm-hmm.
you show up like that and just give a little half-ass flip like that, excuse my language, it's like a slap in the face. It's like that says you're uninterested, you're lazy, you don't care, you don't want to be here. I think DFAing Chapman is a smart move, but I think the smarter move would have been to have DFA'd Hicks and gotten him off this roster because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he's earned his playoff spot.
Well, I definitely agree with you on the sentiment. He's not going to make the playoff roster. If he makes the playoff roster, I'm going to be super shocked if he does
Yeah,
make the playoff roster. But I think when it comes down to it, Aaron Hicks, they can't DFA him yet because they won't be able to write off his salary.
yeah,
It's all about money at the end of the day, right? He has 3 years left. Besides this year, he has 3 years left on his contract. He's making 9.5 mil next year. I think it goes down to 9 mil the next year after, or stays at 9.5. I'm not too sure. So the Yankees are on the hook for probably almost 30 million over the next 3 seasons. They
Jesus.
aren't going to want to just willy-nilly just let him go, DFA him, and be on the line for all that money.
Yeah,
So they may wait. He's not going to make the postseason. He's definitely not going to be on a postseason roster, but they may wait till next season when an injury happens, because we all know Aaron Hicks most likely
yeah,
will get injured
Mr.
next
Injury.
year. Yeah, just like a broken clock is right twice a day, Aaron Hicks is going to get injured so he could go
Yeah,
play golf in the middle of the season. So I think they'll wait till next year, see what they can get out of him during the middle of next year, right before the trade deadline. If they don't do anything this offseason, I think he won't be on the team next year.
I
When
hope
by
not.
the trade deadline, I should say.
But last quick thing before I dip out,
Go ahead, baby.
I had a few minutes, so I was able to. But this weekend, I'm really looking forward to watching the offense come alive again.
Mm-hmm.
We are on a 7-game win streak. We are, I think, 8-2 in our last 10,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something to think about compared to what they did in that month and a half stretch of playing absolute terrible baseball. So they have turned it around, and they are back, and I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Mikey, from your mouth to God's ears, brother. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. I'm looking forward to the rest of this week. I'm looking forward to the playoff run as well. Mikey Mazza, I'll talk to you backstage so we could work something out for the playoffs when it comes to doing a playoff watch along. However, we'll figure it
Yeah,
out. We'll figure it out, bro. But
sounds
have a
good. Hit
safe
me up on
day.
Instagram or something. We'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
definitely. Have a safe day, brother. Peace and love
Thanks,
to the
man. You
family,
too.
my guy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Good. And that's my man Mikey Mazza with the 4 Train Express. If you aren't subscribed to Mazza and the 4 Train Express, pretty please, with 2 cherries on top, subscribe to my man. Subscribe to my man. And Steve, brother, like I said, Steve, if you ever want to come onto the panel, you're more than welcome to come onto the panel. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but we have to figure something out if you want to come onto the panel, because I would love to have a conversation with you, Steve. Going forward, let's look at right now. Let's take a look around the league real quick, right? So let's look around the league. Let's see how the rest of baseball is doing. And as well, talk about around the league. Did you guys see Albert Pujols? Shout out to Albert Pujols to get into the 700 club. He wasted no time. He hit 699 and 700 in the same game. Shout out to Albert Pujols, being the first Latino baseball player to get to 700 home runs, the first Dominican to get to 700 home runs. It's amazing. His career was completely amazing his entire career. Yes, he had some down years with the Angels, but when I was young, that's when 2004 is when I started watching the Yankees every day, right? When it comes to games. That was when Albert Pujols was in his prime. So I was lucky enough to see a prime Albert Pujols, and a prime Albert Pujols was the most dangerous hitter in all of baseball. You know, if you had to put your life on the line, or if you had to put some money down, put a bet, who would you rather hit in a situation, bases loaded and the game on the line? Would it be Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, or Manny Ramirez? That was the conversation back in the day when I was in high school. And if it was up to me, even though I'm a Yankee fan, I'm going with Albert Pujols over A-Rod and Manny, you know? But Albert Pujols, their hats off to Albert. All the flowers go to Albert Pujols. He had a tremendous career. He battled injuries towards the end. You know, at the age he's at right now with 21 home runs, I don't think anybody thought of it at the beginning of the season. I know I had conversations with people wishing that maybe he could, hoping he could, but to see it in real life, not up close and personal, but to see it happening right now as we're enjoying this season, it's amazing, man. Shout out to Albert Pujols. But hold on, my man Carlos says Braves can close the race to one game today since the Mets are off, and it was set up an interesting weekend series against the Mets and Braves for the division title. It absolutely would. If you look at the division, the AL East, I'm gonna start from the AL East and make my way down. But great point, Carlos. The Yankees are 94-58. Like I said, a game and a half lead. 8.5 lead game on the Toronto Blue Jays. Tampa is behind 10.5 games. Baltimore 79-73. They're battling for that wild card spot. And Boston 72-80. The Cleveland Guardians, they wrapped up their division yesterday with a win, and they are 86-67. The Chicago White Sox are 76-77. The Minnesota Twins under 500, 74-79. And then the Kansas City Royals 63-90. And then the Detroit Tigers 60-92. Over to the West, Houston Astros 101 wins to 53 losses. The Mariners 83-69. The Angels 67-86. Texas 65-87. And the Oakland Athletics 56-97. Over to the NL East, like Carlos was just talking about, you got the New York Mets with a record of 97-57. The Atlanta Braves 95-58. The Phillies with a record of 83-69. The Marlins 63-90. And the Nationals 53-99. The St. Louis Cardinals have a record of 89-65. The Milwaukee Brewers 62-71. The Cubs 67-86. Cincinnati 60-93. And the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 56-97 record. Both Oakland and Pittsburgh are battling for the worst team in baseball so they could get that number one draft pick. But the Dodgers, 106 wins to 47 losses. The Padres are 85-68. The San Francisco Giants are 75-78. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 71-83. And the Colorado Rockies are 65-88. When you look over to the wild card, let's look over to the wild card. In the American League, it's down to Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Seattle, with Baltimore fighting and trying to hold on to any hope. But you got Toronto, who's 86-67, Tampa 84-69, Seattle 83-69, and Baltimore 79-73. Baltimore is 4 games behind the Seattle Mariners. Over to the National League, you got the Atlanta Braves 95-58, the San Diego Padres 85-68, the Philadelphia Phillies 83-69, and the Milwaukee Brewers are on the outside looking in. They are a game and a half behind the Phillies at 82-71. I think it's safe to say that those 5 teams or the 5 teams is going to come down to for the National League wild card, and the 4 teams in the American League are Toronto, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Baltimore. So we got a very interesting last 2 weeks when it comes to regular season baseball. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens. The the number one draft pick don't mean as much in baseball. Well, yeah, but you got some prospects that are clearly hands down better than the rest. If it was up to me, you know, Baltimore, they drafted Matt Holliday's son, Jackson Holliday, I think is his first name. I would have drafted Drew Jones, Andrew Jones' son, the center fielder. But I understand. I think Holliday, is projected shortstop. You know, they have Gunnar Henderson already at shortstop. But hey, I'm not a manager. I'm just somebody who talks baseball on the internet and who plays video games. So if it was up to me, Drew Jones was he's with Arizona now. If you guys can look up Drew Jones, I implore you to look up Drew Jones. He's going to be a star. I don't know Hector, but I feel Jameson would be our Max Fried in the playoffs this year. Listen, I'm hoping Jameson could be our Jeff Suppan in the playoffs, right? You guys remember Jeff Suppan back in the day with the with the Cardinals? Yeah, I'm hoping that Jameson Taillon could be one of those random pitchers that just catch on fire and becomes unhittable and becomes the next Cy Young in the playoffs, right? That's what we could hope on, but I'm not too sure. Let's see how the Yankees line it up, because the last few start Jameson's Taillons have. Let me look it up right now. I believe they were very promising. Jameson Taillons. That's all right. So of course, against Boston, he pitched 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs. That was on the 22nd. Against Milwaukee, he got roughed up in Milwaukee. He pitched 5 innings, 4 runs. But you take that Milwaukee start out of it. Tampa Bay 7 and 7 only 3 runs. Minnesota 5 innings, 2 runs. Oakland 6 innings, 1 run. Toronto 5 innings, 3 runs. Boston 7 innings, 3 runs. So for the past month, he's been averaging 3 runs per game. He's been giving it up. So let's see what happens in the playoffs. He's starting to click lately. Yeah, but his last start against Milwaukee, it was 4 runs. But if you take that one out of it, 6 innings against Boston, no runs. 7 1/3 against Tampa, 3 runs. It should have only been 1 run, if you ask me. Minnesota, 5 innings, 2 runs. The Angels, he only lasted 2 innings. Oh, I forgot to throw that one in there. 2 innings, 2 runs. Oakland, 6 innings, 1 run. So, Jameson Taillon, he's been coming around lately, but, we do have to be worried about that last start he had in Milwaukee, like I said. But that's going to be for Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone to figure out. That's what the brain trust, that's what they pay that brain trust to do, to figure it out. But guys, as well, let me know what's your thoughts on this whole Don Mattingly situation. You think Don Mattingly would be a good fit as a manager? I would say, yeah, why not? I understand Aaron Boone is still on the contract, so unless the Yankees fire him, but Aaron Boone is still on the contract. He's at, what's the Yankees record right now? The Yankees record right now, hold on, I just had it. Yeah, the Yankees are at 94 wins. If the Yankees are able to get to 100 wins, that's every season that Aaron Boone has been a manager for the Yankees, he's won 100 games, minus the pandemic season because it was short, only 60 games. But every year he's been here, if he gets to 100 wins this year, he's a 100-win manager every season he's been here. Every season he's been here, he's been a 100-win manager, minus the pandemic season. So does it warrant even him being fired? Because, yes, he's a manager. He puts the lineups together. He puts it out there, but he's not out on the field competing. He's not out on the field pitching. He's not coming out the bullpen giving up the lead. So is it worth even firing Aaron Boone? I know a lot of Yankee fans just don't like him for some reason. I don't know why. I feel that he's very professional when it comes to the media after the games and the post game conference. I don't see no issue with him. He doesn't sing, maybe because you guys don't like that he singles out people and hold people accountable. Maybe if that's the reason, okay, I can understand that to a degree. He said last year we won 92. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about last year. Yeah. Last year we did win 92. We only got him by the wild card. But yeah, besides last year and the pandemic season, every season he's been here, he's won 100 games. You're right, Carlos. I did forget about last year in the wild card. Because last year was just such a weird season for us. It just mentally checked out. But yeah, last year when we got Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo, you're absolutely right. We did win only 92 games last year. But is that why we fire him and bring in Don Mattingly? I'm not sure. I'm not a part of the Yankees brain trust. Do we need a different voice commanding the ship? Maybe. I'm still one of those guys that want to see Willie Randolph get a chance. So if we bring back Don Mattingly, make Willie Randolph his bench coach. Why not? How would you guys like that? Would you guys like if they make Don Mattingly the manager, Willie Randolph is the bench coach? Let me know. Put it down in the comments down below. That would be a good move, though. And it would probably be just to appease the fans. It'll be one of those moves that if the Yankees lose Aaron Judge, they're going to try to appease the fans any which way they can. And firing Aaron Boone and hiring Don Mattingly will appease the fans. But I don't have faith in the Yankees front office, especially in Hal Steinbrenner, to put the money up to re-sign Judge. I just don't have the faith. Tonight in Toronto, we got Luis Severino going back for his second start since coming off the IL. But you got Luis Severino and Kevin Gausman. Let's see what happens tonight. Kevin Gausman, who's been their ace, he's 12-2 with a 3.32 ERA, 165 in the third innings, 178 strikeouts. 194 strikeouts and 27 walks. So Kevin Gausman, he throws strikes, and he works the strike zone. He's fast and he doesn't take his time on the mound. He said, I agree on Randolph. He was never given due respect. Yeah, I wanted Randolph at one point, right? Tony Pena, I felt that he should have got a chance to have that job. Tony Pena's been with the team for how many years? He was with the team for how many years before leaving? He was there for when Joe Girardi got hired. He was there for when Aaron Boone got hired. That's when he left, but he was a part of the Joe Torre Yankees towards the end before Joe Torre left. Why not? Carlos says that's basically our last three captains driving the ship of the organization. I'll be down for it. Especially if it's Jeter. Tony Pena, I felt, got shafted. I really, because this is why, right? They got rid of Joe Girardi because they wanted a manager who could communicate with Gary Sanchez, right? Who can connect with Gary Sanchez, who can get the best out of Gary Sanchez. So you bring in Aaron Boone instead of making Tony Pena the manager. Tony Pena, who's Dominican, who was a catcher, who is from the same pueblo that Gary Sanchez is from in DR, that would have been the perfect replacement for Joe Girardi. If your whole idea was you wanted a manager who can connect with Gary Sanchez and get the best out of him, I don't understand how that's Aaron Boone. Because if you want someone to connect with connect with Gary Sanchez, you need somebody that speaks the same language. You need somebody that understands cultural differences the way that Tony Pena understands cultural differences between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. If you wanted somebody to get the best out of Gary Sanchez, it should have been Tony Pena. Or make sure you retain Tony Pena for the coaching staff. If the idea is to get a manager in here who can connect with Gary Sanchez to get the best out of him, it should have been Tony Pena, hands down. Even though Tony Pena was a part of this coaching staff, right? I'm not going to say he wasn't, but Tony Pena should have been the voice when it comes to the manager for Gary Sanchez. He says, sorry, Hector, I don't know if God himself could get the best out of Sanchez. I agree with you. Before I used to work EMS, right? I worked as an EMT for 6 years in the South Bronx, and one of my partners, she was Gary Sanchez's first cousin, right? So when he first came on the scene, I was super excited. I was like, oh yeah, that's my partner, that's her cousin. Da, 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 da. Now I'm like, I don't even know who she is. I don't know. I never worked with her. I don't know who she is, but yeah, yeah. That falls on Gary Sanchez as well. I'm not trying to cover up for Gary Sanchez because Gary Sanchez, it's his fault that he was out late night in Dykeman hanging out partying. That doesn't fall on anyone else but Gary Sanchez. But guys, it's 12 o'clock. We're getting towards the end of the show. I appreciate everybody who joined in on the conversation, who participated in the chat. Like always, my man Frankie. Hey, yo, Frankie. Salute, baby. Thanks for stopping by as well. Carlos, bro. Carlos, jump on. You make some time, Papa. Jump on the panel so we can have the conversation, bro. But like always, appreciate you, Carlos, for stopping by. Krista Flass as well. Appreciate you for stopping by. My man James Cook. Appreciate you, brother, as well. Eric Wallace is in the building. Eric Wallace, like I said, we're going to have to figure something out so we can get you on the panel. My man Stevie, as well. For Steve, if you want to come on the panel one of these days. And as well, Mikey Mazda, the 4 Train Express. Like always, big salute. My man John from Still Nick Fans. My man Pots and Pans. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to the conversation. Definitely appreciate all you guys. It's been an awesome show today. Much love and much praises go to Albert Pujols for joining the 700 Home Run Club. Hopefully Aaron Judge can join the 61st Home Run Club tonight. It's only a few of those that have done it. But guys, it's been an awesome episode of Yankees Morning Brew. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I am your guy Hector, aka Project Nerd HQ, and we out. Peace.
Driven deep in the right center field. That ball